Aye, shepherd's pie, greetings from the Philippines. I'm back. Going to take a little wander around the old neighbourhood today and do another little walk and a chat. Not been up this part before, so I do not know what we'll find up here, but hopefully it will be a bit quieter than the route I took yesterday. But who knows? Hello, Mr. Cow. They're quite beautiful, the cows over here. They're not the same as the cows we get in the UK. Anyway, I've got a dog coming with me now, by the looks of things as well. So, let's talk about expats. Because oops, I nearly fell over then. I have been quite surprised. Hello.
Hello.
I have been quite surprised by some of the comments recently to some of the videos I've done. Now, I'm not complaining, you know, I'm not saying anyone has digged me out or anything. It's just, as you know, I've made a couple of videos basically saying that I'm getting the impression that it's going to be harder, potentially, for some expats in later life to stay longer term in some of the countries that we're traditionally going to, like, you know, Thailand, with the tax laws, and the Philippines strapping down, you know, on the 6-month visas, that we might have to have a more nomadic lifestyle going forward. But a lot of the comments were, not just in the videos, but people I've spoken to over the last few months here, I think we seem to have an exaggerated opinion of what we actually bring to the table. I say we, I'm talking about expats in general, because I am an expat, or an immigrant, or whatever you want to call me. And I'm generalising, because I don't think I necessarily think this way, but I don't know, a lot don't, but some do. What I'm basically getting at is there seems to be this opinion that because we bring money, you know, into the economy, that these countries can't survive without us, or would be crazy to try and tighten down or reduce our numbers because we bring so much wealth into these countries. Now, on the face of it, that strikes me as a very arrogant attitude. But just because it strikes me as an arrogant attitude doesn't mean it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. The question is, how much money do we bring into these countries? And as I said again, what do we actually bring to the table? Do we have a realistic conceit of what we bring? Or are we fooling ourselves? Because there's two ways you can look at this, or two ways I look at this. Just because we bring money doesn't mean we don't bring problems. Just because we bring money doesn't mean that political, little span round here, public opinion can't counterbalance that. And how much do we really bring in terms of money to the table? Because a lot of the expats I meet here, they've got a lot of opinion, and so I'm not digging them out, some of them are good guys, but they seem to have what I think is an exaggerated opinion about how much they're contributing to the country. Because a hell of a lot of them are careful with their money, shall we say, and tend to spend it in certain places. And those certain places tend to be owned by expats. And that's a reality of being here. I mean, I like to go out, you know, revelling and things, and we will eat in, a lot of the time we will eat in, you know, Filipino restaurants, get stuff off the market, and, you know, etc, etc. And obviously we are contributing to the economy. We're not really contributing much more than any other Filipino when you look at it in that context. You know, they're all going to the market, they're buying their food. when we go out for restaurants to eat down, and we do 2 or 3 times a week, we like to have a nice sit-down meal, we tend to go to places owned by expats. And that's just a reality. Not always, but yeah, you know, tend to go to Latinos. Mark goes Spanish. There's a couple of Mexican restaurants we go to, I think are owned by Americans. Sometimes eat at the Kingswick, owned by a Norwegian. Yeah, you know, it's not always, but a lot of the time we do eat in expat restaurants. Now, yeah, they employ Filipino staff, so of course that helps the staff that work there. A lot of guys I know eat exclusively in Western restaurants. They will just do a circuit. There's, you know, because there's 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, there's a lot of good restaurants here that tend to have certain nights of the week, like they have steak nights, and they have, you know, eat as much as you like pizza nights, etc. And a lot of the expats go there. That's where they go. You know, they are spending their money in Western restaurants, and they go out during the day and they drink coffee in coffee shops. Coffee shops. Some, I presume, are owned by Western expats, some not. But the point I'm getting at is, although they're contributing, and the reason I emphasise the coffee shop business, is because although they are contributing to the economy, they are also changing the dynamic of a country. It's like the English used to do in Spain. You know, anyone who knows, who's from Europe, will know what we've done over there. I mean, we predominantly, English went to certain parts of Spain over the years, and we've turned it into Little Britain. We have opened fish and chip shops, and, you know, English breakfast cafes and bingo nights, and, you know, we've just turned it into everything that the people that went there. I mean, I've never been a fan of Spain. I've been to Ibiza a few times, but I've never, you know, Spain's not for me. But I've seen and heard what it's like. I've been on a couple of stag do's, and it is, you know, we've turned it from what it was to something that we wanted it to be. And a lot of the locals aren't happy with that. It puts them in a dilemma, you know, because, yeah, they want the currency and they want the investment, but equally they want to keep their own national identity. And I think there's a big element of that in the Philippines and a big element in Thailand. I mean, it's so easy to say that, you know, well, we're bringing money into the country. Well, we're also changing the country. And people don't necessarily want that. You know, just because something is financially good for a country doesn't mean people won't vote to change it. I mean, I'm not going to get into the old Brexit debate, etc., or what's going on in America, but there is lots of, you know, empirical evidence that immigration brings with it wealth. Well, that doesn't stop people deciding that they've had enough and they want to kick people out. I mean, it's gone on throughout history. And a lot of the people you'll meet over here who are saying, you know, when you talk to them, they can't kick us out, we bring so much money in, are also people who are complaining in their home country that there are too many immigrants and they want to kick them out. So, you know, I'm not knocking expats, because, as I said, I am an expat. But I think it's important to, like, you know, try and take a holistic view of the situation that we're in. This idea that we're bringing so much to the table that they could never kick us out, I think is quite naive, to say the least. Now, I am not sure, because I've not been in the Philippines long, I've been in 9 months. I haven't felt the same undertones in terms of resentment towards expats in the Philippines that I have in some other countries. Now, Thailand, for example, I mean, that's why I was saying to you in the video the other day when I was talking about one of the problems if you're thinking about going to live in Thailand. Thais are very proud of their culture. They they're proud Thais. You know, as far as they're concerned, they've never been invaded. You know, no one tells them what to do. They're fiercely independent. They've got their Thai identity. Now, I know people say they might have been invested by the Japanese, and you can go back to, you know, to the Indian and French agreement not to invade them. But the average Thai doesn't know about that. The point is they're fiercely independent and they resent the westernisation of their countries. You know, a lot of them do. It's like the legalisation of... anyway, I'm not going to go down into that route because I don't want to get demonetised. Back on the main road here now. I've never come down this way before. It's useful to know you can come down here. Anyway, now I've not felt that in the Philippines, but I've not been here as long, and I've not been to as many places. I've only been into Siquijor and I've only been in Dumaguete. Now I get the impression, I mean, as I've said many times, this is the most westernised Asian country I've ever been to. Americanised, if that's a word. I mean, you've got bakery stores everywhere, you know, selling bread and things, which you don't really get in Asia apart from, I suppose, in Cambodia because of the French influence. But you certainly don't get that in Thailand, not on every 24-hour bakery on every corner like they've got here. I mean, they've got basketball playing over here, they've got burger and hot dog stalls everywhere. You know, it is a very westernised country. Now, I have assumed, rightly or wrongly, that's because America and, you know, Philippines have got such a close bond historically, and, you know, it's been like this for a long time, but the Filipinos are happy with it. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I'm not saying whether they are or they aren't. Maybe they're very unhappy about it. Or maybe they don't know any different. I don't know how long it's been like this. I get the impression it's been like this for quite a while. But as I say, I've only been here 8 months. I can't believe a country can get as westernised as this overnight. I mean, it has to have been, you know, a few decades at least. But I don't know how people feel about that. You know, the average Filipino. I do know in Dumaguete, from because I'm friends with quite a few business owners, there is a lot of pressure being put on, shall we say, the Western-owned businesses to stick to schedules. You know, they've got to switch their live music off bang on time, or they'll get a visit. You know, if people are smoking on the street, they'll get a visit. Basically, they are treated far more severely, or they are policed far harder than local Filipino businesses. Which comes back to the point I'm making, that what do we actually bring to the table? Because you think, well, why would they be doing that? Or a lot of people say, why are they doing this? You know, we love this place. Why aren't they treating the other Filipino businesses like that? Why are they singling out the expats businesses for special treatment? Well, I don't know, but my guess would be they're taking the view that these expat businesses are damaging the success of Filipino businesses. But they would rather these expats were eating in Filipino restaurants and Filipino businesses were flourishing. And they're trying to even the score a bit. They're trying to favour the Filipino businesses. I mean, I might be wrong here. I don't know. People could be paying bribes and all sorts of things. There could be many reasons why it's happening, but I'm guessing that, and this is the point I'm making. I think a lot of people are fooling themselves that we are essential to the Filipino economy, or so essential that they would never possibly make it tougher for us to be here. And I really think we do, because now there is certainly an argument to be made that they need us, I would say, without doing any study into, you know, the actual finances of what we bring, etc. The fact that they've still got the 36-month visas tells you that the powers that be think it's a good thing having expats here. But they used to think the same in Cambodia. It used to be so easy to go there. You know, Thailand now with the tax laws and things, it is inevitable as these countries' economies evolve and they will become less dependent on pounds and dollars and euros coming in, that they're going to make it harder. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? And I don't blame them for that at all. I mean, that's what we're doing in Europe and the West. You know, it's inevitable. I mean, so we're going to get a taste of our own medicine. I mean, personally, I think, you know, we'll be able to adjust to that, certainly in my lifetime. I don't think any of these countries' economies are going to grow sufficiently where it's impossible for us to go there. I think, as I said to you in the video the other day, it might be 6 months in this country, 6 months in that country. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I think a few expats are fooling themselves. And I think if they realise that, it might make the situation a bit better for us. Because if people could be a bit more self-aware, it's another reason why I'm making this video, and take a look at themselves and see what they're doing, tried a bit harder to embrace the local culture, tried a bit harder to spread their money into different businesses that aren't necessarily expat owned. Hello.
Hello.
Did a bit more of an effort to mingle, and were a bit less judgmental of other expats. Because again, it's nothing about this. I get so fed up with these people who sit there and, you know, they're like, who are just eating in restaurant. Because I mean, I used to get it when I was in, I'll go on for a little rant now, when I was in Sigil, when I was in my party mode. I was going to the rum bar every, most nights, spending lots of money. The people who owned the bar were Filipino, all the staff in there were Filipino. Every penny I was spending was going into the Filipino economy. Yet I was getting comments from people that expats online that I wasn't the kind of expat they wanted in the country. And I'm quite sure those expats who were telling me that I wasn't the kind of expat that they wanted there are the kind of expats who are spending money in expat only businesses and overvaluing themselves. I mean, they overvalue themselves enough to think that what's that dog here? Hello, mate. I know you shouldn't stroke stray dogs, but I am an animal lover. You'll love it, won't you? Anyway, I've got to go on my video. Yeah, so anyway, I've rambled now. I'm going to head back. I hope I haven't got lost. I'm trying to do more videos out and about because a lot of my subscribers seem to like them, and I don't mind doing them. The trouble is, it's very hard to keep your train of thought on what you're trying to talk about when you are wandering around, you know, concentrating on where you're stepping and where you're going. But yeah, I'm going to bring it to an end now. And the last question, because maybe I've got this wrong. Maybe someone's going to say in the comments, I mean, people are very good at throwing up statistics, and I'm very grateful for that, because I'm a lazy man. I just can't be bothered to do that. I'm just getting, you know, things off my chest when I make my videos. But someone might turn around and say that, I don't know, 25% of the economy is dependent on, I know they're not, I mean 25 would be ridiculous. But you know, a huge percentage of this, and they need that, and they need that, etc, etc. You know, it might blow my mind how much we are financially contributing. All I'm saying is, money only goes so far. You know, if you've changed the country, I mean, that was the big complaint in Europe, you know. When I was back in the UK, people were complaining here on the news when I was living in Leicester that there were all these Polish cafes opening up, you know, Polish supermarkets and that, because there's so many Poles working, etc, etc. Well, what's the difference between when you drive around Valencia and that, when you see these, you know, Western shops selling Western imported goods and Heinz baked beans, and you know, we're doing exactly the same thing here, but we have this attitude that we are contributing so much money to the economy, it's just fine and dandy. You know, it's I just don't get it. Anyway, it's I've said my piece. Let me know what you think. I have no opinion of what we bring to the table. I'm asking, what do we? What do you think? I mean, do you think have I got it wrong? Because this is just thoughts off the top of my head today. Anyway, I've gone on far too long. I'm going to round it up now. Hopefully you liked the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, it would be great if you did. Whether you do, whether you don't, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe, be lucky.